what has the quarantine experience been like for me specifically? I gotta say, I was so obviously I have my music project. I'm ToBy like 24/7, but on top of that, I was doing a lot of like acting. I was chasing acting opportunities and stand up as well. So like the week leading up to LA locking down, I was like, I had no breaks. I was not sleeping. I was jumping from a show to a studio session to like a callback or an audition or whatever, and still like just like it felt like I didn't have any hours in the day to really be myself and to really like breathe and decompress. I was knocking back coffees, like it was not healthy. So I think I'll answer it two ways. For me personally, obviously it is a really, really tragic situation and it's super serious and grave, but it has caused me to slow down and reprioritize and focus on different things, like getting my head on straight. I started meditating, which is like crazy. I never thought I'd start doing that. Taking care of myself, like taking care of my body and whatever. So there has been that upside, and even musically as well. You're absolutely right. Like everything is slowed to a halt, but the important things, the foundational things that you need to be doing first and foremost as an artist, working on your craft, getting better every day at like, you know, whether you play instruments or sing or whatnot, practicing your bars, like getting your pen game up. All of those things have like kind of climbed back up to the top of my priority list. So all this extra time, which is really what it is, just like extra time for myself, I've been utilizing it to the best of my ability and you know, really cracking into the things that I think matter and the things that ultimately I look for when I consider my growth. Like when I want to look back at who ToBy was 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, I want to say, oh, he was in this space where he was getting better, where he was practicing, where the eyes were on him, but he wasn't as preoccupied with life to a point where I could actually like, you know, push myself in a comfortable space. So it still feels like a dream. That was honestly like, it wasn't ever meant to see the light of day, I think, because they are largely demos. They're not mixed, they're not mastered in any way, shape, or form. And they were meant to be just writing exercises for myself. Like I said, I had a lot of more free time, so I'm like, what am I going to do that doesn't feel like a waste? Even if I'm, you know, sitting on tons of tracks, tons of projects in the vault right now, and we're still building the brand. What's going to keep my mind active? I'm not playing shows. I'm not doing this, that, and the other. So those tracks were just supposed to be, I wake up, I fire up my rig, and I just record what's on my mind. That's all they were meant to be. But then, yeah, the world kind of went to hell a little bit, and I was listening to the things I was saying, and I was listening to the topics I was touching on in the songs, and I was like, wow, this is really relevant music. Like, I didn't realize it, but I was kind of tapped into what was, you know, the general overall feeling across the world, and some things happened back home that were really, really tragic, really, really tough. And I always write best when something's just happened. Like, I always write best when those emotions are raw. So I was like, you know what? Let me dig up one of my old beats that I produced, and let me just like do some stream of consciousness, one verse. And that ended up being the first track, Equivalent Exchange. And once I did that and I put the rest of them together, I was like, nah, people got to hear this. People have to hear this. And I have an implicit self-imposed duty as an artist, as a Black artist, to add to the conversation. I have a duty to the people who look up to me, the people who ask me day-to-day questions on how they can help or how they can, you know, navigate this really tense time. I have a duty to those people to spread information. So I was like, let me do it the only way I know how, which is through my music. And I put it up. I included a link to donate to Black Lives Matter because the cause, obviously, it's so important. It's so necessary. And it's so like now, it's like the most now social movement given everything that's still going on. So yeah, I mean, long story short, it was not supposed to drop, but it was more a byproduct of the circumstances that kind of brought it to light, which I'm actually really, really grateful for. People are responding to it, and I'm really proud of that music too. And I think it sets up the Outside EP perfectly. Very similar sound.